Hey everyone, talking about my favorite 4 sleepers at the quarterback position. Obviously, you want to find all those gems round 12 and later, but realistically, a sleeper to me means they're going to dramatically outplay their ADP. So, in the case of Anthony Richardson, who belongs on my quarterback sleeper list, he's being drafted in the 5th or 6th round. But the case is pretty simple. We're getting the head coach that made Jalen Hurts, a fantasy weapon, and Shane Steichen, in a passing group of Adonai Mitchell, Michael Pittman, and if and when Josh Downs get healthy, a trio that really makes Anthony Richardson pop. And obviously, we know he has the rushing upside as well too, and he's a far more athletic quarterback than I think even people can realize or give credit for. He ran a faster 40 than Jalen Hurts at 4.43, and he has a similar ability to score near the goal line. Doesn't get that tush-push opportunity, but I think he's got a bigger body frame. Think Cam Newton-esque for the Panthers, who was obviously one of the top fantasy quarterbacks out there. The touchdown over-under mark for Anthony Richardson is set at 7.5, and it's juiced to the over. That makes sense where his current ADP is going, but I wouldn't be surprised at all, given literally Anthony Richardson's frame, that he could be able to position to get 10-plus touchdowns. Last year, Josh Allen got 15, but previously, Josh Allen was normally around the 7 or 8 range of rushing touchdown upside, and I think Richardson can be that guy right now, and you're getting him at a 5th or 6th round value. We're talking about quarterback 1 upside that you're getting far, far later in the draft. So he's my first of the quarterback sleepers. Next up, Jayden Daniels. I think this one's obvious and everyone's talked about before. Let's present the downsides for everyone just to make sure. He was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school, never had a season of over 3,000 passing yards, only threw for 17 touchdowns in his best season for Arizona State, and he was playing with NFL talent, like Brandon Ayuk, for example. Then he goes nuclear in LSU in his redshirt senior year, 4,000 passing yards, 40 touchdowns, over or close to 1,200 yards rushing for his Heisman Trophy case. Obviously, we get it. He had plenty of first-round talent as well with LSU, with Brian Thomas, obviously, and Malik Neighbors. And we know that Jayden Daniels can throw the ball deep. You watch that literal one-clip highlight throw. Jayden Daniels is great. I think that's the one part that we can comfortably say Jayden Daniels can perform at the NFL level. Those are all sort of the bad scenarios, though. If Jayden Daniels does what many people expect, we're talking about a rushing capable quarterback that will be at least low on quarterback 1 upside. Let's play this scenario out. Justin Fields was quarterback 6 2 years ago when he ran for almost 1,200 yards and he threw for only 2,400. Didn't have a whole lot of passing touchdowns in that, and obviously the Bears stunk. Win-loss record doesn't matter for sleepers. I think that Jayden Daniels can get close to that number, so long as you're not assuming he's going to be Justin Fields and rush for 1,000 yards year 1. He's not going to be a Lamar Jackson. You're drafting Jayden Daniels as your low-end quarterback 1 around Jared Goff's of the world, Brock Purdy's, and even my guy, Jordan Love. I think he has the potential with the rushing upside in 4-point per passing touchdown leagues to be a low-end fantasy quarterback 1 where we're able to draft him. Kyler Murray finished around quarterback 11 in his rookie year, rushing for 544 yards and 4 touchdowns, and he had a 20-12 touchdown interception ratio. I think that's basically what Jayden Daniels can do, which again, quarterback 11 in Kyler Murray's rookie season. That's where Jayden Daniels being drafted and has the upside for more. Another sleeper quarterback is Kirk Cousins. In 8 games with the Vikings last year, Kirk Cousins finished around 160 fantasy points, depending on what platform you do. If you extrapolate that out through an entire season, we're talking about 330 points. That would be above Jared Goff, who had 303, Brock Purdy, who had 308, and those guys are both going dramatically ahead of Kirk Cousins' ADP right now, which is about quarterback 18. You can get Cousins at least 4 rounds earlier than both those quarterbacks mentioned, and he gives you a completely solid floor. If you targeted Anthony Richardson, or if you went after Jayden Daniels and they didn't live up to the sleeper hype, Kirk Cousins can protect you that way. Obviously, coming off an Achilles injury, there's some concern there, but it's not like Kirk Cousins was ever mobile in his career. He'll be just fine with Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, and no Arthur Smith there. And the offense can actually look good with 3 top 10 draft picks out there. My final quarterback sleeper is Drake Maye. And I can't tell if the reports from Jared Mayo are suggesting, head coach of the Patriots, that Drake Maye will start week 1 or if it will happen later on. Jacoby Brissett has a shoulder injury. It sounds like he'll be ready for week 1. If the Patriots want to play Jacoby Brissett, I understand that offensive line is horrendously bad, and you want to protect your asset, which is Drake Maye, number 3 overall pick in this year's class. But there is some advantages to have Drake Maye out there early. I'm assuming Maye will not play until later in the season. It's the when that matters. The Pats bye week is week 13. That'd be far too late, even for as bad as the offensive line is, to not play your first-round quarterback, especially when it's just Jacoby Brissett blocking him. So what time frame makes sense to assume he could play? Well, the Patriots have a gauntlet of a first month But around that week 5, 6, 7 range, they have a stretch of 3 home games. Now, one of them is technically a European overseas one where they travel to face the Jaguars, which makes things a little bit more complicated. But typically, you want to make a runway of sorts for your rookie quarterback. If it's Drake Maye playing in week 5, gets that European game week 6 and then week 7, we're talking about a guy who you can literally get for free right now that has the rushing upside. And I don't think it's as crazy to say to be near Jayden Daniels from a rushing perspective. Again, Jayden Daniels, quarterback sleeper, right around 11 range. If you got Kyler Murray 500 yards, that's a positive for me. I think Drake Maye has the athleticism, and more importantly, the Patriots don't have a whole lot else to provide Drake Maye. I think Drake Maye is running around for most of his time, at least in year 1, and that sets up for fantasy goodness, even if the Pats won't win.